I know we've spent a lot of time over the last few weeks and months even talking about foldable phones, upcoming foldable phones, sometimes foldable phones that haven't even been announced yet. And sorry to tell you guys that we're going to continue doing that in this video and for the foreseeable future because via smartpre.com, via the great tech leaker OnLeaks, today we have a glimpse into the future, a glimpse into the OnePlus Fold. Maybe it's the OnePlus V Fold. Maybe it's just the OnePlus Fold. Now, guys, these are renders that are apparently based upon having seen prototypes of this device itself. So these are not what we had about a week ago with Samsung, actual marketing material. These are, again, renders based on someone who saw prototypes of the device itself. But there is a whole lot to unpack from these renders. As always, there's a link to this article in the description. Go click on it, go give them a hit, and look at these images yourself in much higher quality than YouTube will allow me to show them to you. But with that being said, let's scroll down, let's open up this image, and let's dive in because there is a ton to point out here. So the first thing that you may be noticing, maybe you're expecting this device to look a lot more like the Oppo Find N or Find N2 than this does. This looks much more like a more traditional foldable device. Isn't it weird that we already have traditional foldable devices at this point? Quite strange to think about, but that is where we are. This is much taller than the Oppo Find N or Find N2, and this lines up with some leaks that I brought you guys weeks and weeks ago. We talked about this, that very short, wide thing was probably going away. The Pixel Fold would be the only device going with that sort of aspect ratio. This looks pretty much like a normal phone. Like if you just saw this, you would think this is the new OnePlus phone. It looks a little weird because it's got a slightly larger bezel on the left side, although that is a fairly small bezel. Let's pull out my Z Fold 4, and if you do a comparison there, that bezel on the side is definitely in the realm of the Z Fold 4, and potentially smaller bezels all around even than that if we zoom in here. But this, like I said, looks like a pretty standard OnePlus phone. It's got that large round camera bump there on the back, a triple camera setup, which the current rumors say are going to be a 50 megapixel primary, a 40 megapixel ultra wide, and a 32 megapixel periscope telephoto zoom. The zoom is probably going to be somewhere around 5x. On paper, this is looking like an outstanding camera setup. Now, you may not like OnePlus's image processing pipeline, although we do have, of course, the Hasselblad branding, which I'm not surprised at all to see on there. But again, on paper, the hardware is very, very strong. LED flash up there. We have a notification alert slider. That is fantastic. I absolutely love seeing that. Hole punch selfie on the front there, OnePlus logo. We can see volume rocker, and very, very faintly, there should be a power button somewhere in this area that I'm not actually seeing. Perhaps in another angle we'll be able to see this. But again, this looks like a regular phone. Like it looks quite thin. The aspect ratio looks pretty natural. Jumping to another angle here, there are some more things that are fairly interesting. So first off, let's talk about this finish. This is supposed to be like a faux leather finish. Now they're saying that this could change. This could be a particular version that they saw. This could be a thing that doesn't actually happen. It could be a different material. But the prototype they saw was faux leather. There's that alert slider. Again, really, really nice to see that. But here's another weird thing. That looks like a speaker there and a speaker there. So two speakers up top, and I believe there's a third speaker on the bottom. So that's going to be really odd, and it might cause the audio to be unbalanced, right? If you're holding it like this, there might be more audio coming from the right than the left, depending on how you're holding it, which is a little bit strange. I'm curious to see why they went with that. But again, look at how thin this thing appears to be. I'd love to have the actual measurements because this looks like it's approaching Pixel Fold levels of thinness. And again, another device kind of making the Z Fold look a little bit on the chunky side. So here's a look at the bottom of the device. You can see the USB-C port and, like I said, one single speaker down below with two speakers on the top. That is, again, very, very strange. Again, this device looks absolutely razor thin. They're going to be apparently packing in a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, the newest possible processor. It is an 8-inch 120 hertz QHD plus primary display. And then this cover display is rumored to be 6.5 inches full HD and 120 hertz. 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage were the latest rumors that I'd seen about this. Perhaps even more impressively, though, with this thin of a form factor, they're packing in a 4,800 milliamp hour battery. And this article actually says 100 watt super VOOC charging. Prior rumors had it at 80 watts. Either way, this thing in many, many ways is going to be the most impressive foldable on the market. And it looks like we have a corner mounted hole punch selfie camera, so no under display camera, no bezel like on the Pixel Fold, just a standard hole punch. But again, this thing looks extremely impressive. Now, of course, several months back at another OnePlus event, they put a big banner on the stage up on the screen that said coming in Q3 and showed what appeared to be a folding phone. As it is now June, we are headed towards that Q3 timeline very, very quickly. So expect this thing to be announced sometime in the fall and hopefully released shortly thereafter. So not a whole lot longer to wait. Things are going to get so very interesting in the world of foldables in the United States in particular, where we will very soon have the Z Fold 5, the Pixel Fold, and the OnePlus Fold, all of which offer some different sorts of things. But let me just tell you, this OnePlus Fold might be the dark horse. It might be the sleeper to win this whole thing this year. It is looking exceedingly impressive. And if the other rumors hold true that they're going to try and target a lower price point, right? Where you're going to have the Pixel Fold at $1,800, the Z Fold 5 might be slightly less than $1,800 if some of these rumors hold true. Let's just say $1,800 for now, maybe like $1,700, something like that. And the OnePlus Fold rolls in at like $1,399, $1,499 with that spec sheet. Oh man, it's going to be very, very interesting. Guys, thanks for watching. Again, link in the description down below to the full article. Do go give that a click. Read through their words. There may be some different things in there as well that I did not talk about. So definitely go do that. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.